The very first time I was reading, I got that lawyers finally appeal. No disrespect to the lawyers, because they know what they were doing. But me ready, I was like, hey, appeal where there, I know shit. Because to file an appeal, now ebe say, judge no bu asem no, time ni panel. A boss ye they call high court. Now ye biemu dia. See a chauffeur outside when you are making sure say if indeed judge you know na come na ye, and now some poor jam na so na ye. Tinye case ketwa. It's no more money bail enyi. Who bail they have the p. Ko a judge and woman 15 years. It's when you can in kwa so mo press on mo pay bail. Ko ade du a won sanka. On sanka just say top hierarchies be bem. On sanka. Because the banner say next means that the judge over there kwa no. So omo say okay, am a bail ko. Next the judge no one no person change onim na dwuma. Yeah, you know, on money yes, judge, you know, the personal feeling in the AGradaa judgment. And I say, what time, I mean, when you sumra, what time, you know, the yes, and that is serious. That is serious. Me lawyer, you know, when I was reading it, me dream one of the daddy. Now, go file appeal. No accuse judge, no trade game. About what is sentence, you know, and the commanding young judge. Say judge no at the time year and I said when jam now so for that matter you more clients in the bill near the bill or guarantee bill the man there next means we're shaming the young judge no and so also finding out making sure say ampa again I would so okay one for docket in yamra judge and you soon come on here or time and I said the
Jia gossip update. I mean Sansoma Kwaba. Na min chabium. Emla Jumadi so AGradaa to me a copre a bail pending appeal. Na amasamai a high court to me a deny that particular a bail pending appeal. Na Goodman a PM about the video be about to abontia uchem say a AGradaa lawyers to me a accuse a circuit a court a judge na to me a sentence AGradaa into a 15 years jail imprisonment. Goodman abeka in Zambia Ochem said no judge on obey to mean a granted a AGradaa bail after say a circuit court judge no to me a man that particular a year sentence. It was for Goodman and something na our hand. I had no yankasa to me and jet and I am yankasa and to me Emma obisun to become home the end to me at na jebre the end to me a man and copy me our Goodman akachi and bra yaba. But the hope ya so abro ya kono obe like obe share and yes na ohwem so subscribe we are press be like kono kam ho yenko pim e Goodman Benjamin akachembra ye ba betwaso
now and I got out court na some impedias Adepa kono say me I realize appeal no ma file no one enko baby yes. Because appeal no more file appeal in the sense of say at least on me to guarantee the bill. Not at least no you started appeal no trial now no a 50 no court trial. Because already remember, don't forget say my many passports yes easy that. Don't forget this. People should not forget this. My many passports yes easy that. And lawyers, you know, realize that once the passport is not there, at least they can go for a bail. Now we're free a copy because they will be too baby because the passports are not now one coin, one file coin because on file, you know, at least I had the opportunity to read through or maybe to glance through the appeal no on file now. Very first time on finally I really truly appeal, no, I was like, then what it means is that one here a bad because appeal no more finally, you know. I'm finally appeal to the extent that the lawyers didn't make appeal to say even judge no man 15 years, you know. Judge no did that out of hatred. Yes. TNE. Let's say, the very first time I was reading, I got that lawyers finally appeal. No disrespect to the lawyers, because they know what they were doing. But me ready at the end, I was like, hey, appeal with it, I know shit. Because to file an appeal, now everybody say, judge no who are some no, at time ni panel, accused person, sign kokoye, because they file the appeal, Emma Nibe say, judge no man 15 years no, or man 15 years based on the fact that the personally or personal emotions and what they can't and what they are, because one man crying, what? Or say one kasa, I'm more defending themselves. But meanwhile, we are talking about Adena at the home. Now, people should understand this. I got that case now at down no. The prosecutor no prosecuting at the end. The man realized, prosecutor didn't realize that Niamo charges said that guy now. One, social media, videos, audios, any Niama be no. Our money vindicating. After that video now, later, the people who organize, who plan, who capitalize on AGradaa advertising, our money social media corner, vindicating woman with videos and audios. And the prosecutor realized said no. So nobody did because they do time, at the point when they were going to court. Omudu court na impo one hour video ni ma yehu omoni ade omufe omuko they were nowhere to be found. So the prosecutor realized that he odi agwa one way a case no be foolish case na nko ba bia na mum e so focusing on the advertising no and the here. So the prosecutor focused on the advertising. So the case, again, that case, became a case of between or no any the state. It's as what Togana. Meanwhile, and until the prosecutor, time a lawyers no call you know say. Now, judge no pardon because of a first time offender, and the prosecutor says that no. On the first time offender, this advertising issue, you had the number court paying. That time, was I said no or no near sorry for you, not all abusun fee. The percent, which says in 70 months, the permittee as any day baby na your coso. Is it a first time offender? Now, if our first time offender, it depends on the judge to consider or not. Because at least first time offenders, normally when the test a man say, either say you'll be fine. Fine. And now say it depends on the judge, not teach them. Now, indeed, on your first time offender, prosecutor my judge on your first time offender. Because I didn't hear what to Ghana Mrano. Or ye be a brand of Wabusum fee, and over people court. And also, no first time offender that time, they pardoned her and no money TSK. Mujano. So in this case, what? AGradaa lawyers look at him said the woman has been in the court with the same advertising issue. No, there's a honor area because say no minimum. Maybe can they find a different way to approach the judge that very day, but I think say a real woman and the prosecutor at the moment she said no, Nippona Walker for her first time offender. That is not the case. She is not on your first time offender. It's your pardon and why your first time and your pardon Manu 2 years ago. So she knows what she was doing. So what it means is that now I get that one fear or ye I'm at no court. Warning, and no say be it's your friend say ya warning, ya man warning. What to Ghana and what's our court, what's our to Ghana. because and I make us say one amount for bomb palm kwa so dem ko e dede no eno sa e honum that part no e vindicating because social media for no and some bloggers na ye ade no ma ne vindicate agada no it is our case no eno enka ho eno enka ho tienie enka ho ko no de omo botugu ye because at the end of the day there were videos, there were audios and that kind of stuff depending nkomo say ade no omo kasa wo mi ade no it was planned. It's in the 6 na asase no prosecutor na bi omo ko ye no edu maybe na prosecutor no person the 6 ko na ohu omo because the 6 no be so e be ya aware say hey baby edu no amanfo atete ye to am ye hu na say hey I don't know it was planned ye jiska it you know on them can say me ebia na obi so ebia na enyame na omo tie mi a omo tu omo fo ebia na obi eti ka kire omo me can say now the social media na mama for was omo ba camera anim no it was planted and for that matter omo kwa di agbo a one here be chi omo until in this case no there was a counter suit tienie there was a counter suit against those people by AGradaa lawyers. It's those people not afraid of almost fake case, almost court, prosecutor, and query on not on whom. It's my prosecutor, who said no. I don't know, emphasis on the credibility. And for that matter, Odia go ask them about go cases, watch him. And then that's how the prosecutor don't realize it. And so focus on the advertising and no the tear gun on that. That's number 1. 2, and Nana Tiano was why you be, and you say you need why you be. Why you be? Me pass what you say. Why you be? Why ask? Because about people send her Momo. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Me say. And then I get our lawyers, you know, file appeal. They went there, appeal no more. Not they wanted to grant. And I said they went there to seek for a bail. Because Ediana per appeal no say nobody else start here. Maybe just one day any appeal. So they were like, okay, fine. Any young grant seeking for bail. Now Mami will feel go already. Mami no AGradaa the passport you season that. Already you season the passport. Until Sadia over 50 nanka oko you started try appeal try now. Nanko 50 nanka oko. And I mean say AGradaa lawyers no everybody file appeal no even and making sure Emmanuel say judge no man got that 15 years or man 15 years based on hatred, personal hatred. Based on personal hatred. It is an institution. Let's not forget that. It is an institution. It's an institution. Fine, I'm not now. That's all filing a case against someone who is within. That's what I say. Or yeah, didn't based on a tiny thing or the year, a tiny year. Because it's difficult for AGradaa lawyers to justify say, my many idea because of a time, maybe. And see, and a bill now, yeah, can want some now, oh, yeah. When your bill, no. Oh, man, guarantee bill now, man. Because they know very well, say, a banner. Appeal no na you started trying now and yet one day wonder e dia e be prolong it and at least no once e be prolong no the enti o siki bill ni say e be check e be tue di bia be say e bia appeal no kwa no try no start e be tue e take more than months e be take months and for that matter at the intina yeah mama mini bill no KOFI because already the state e want a passport omo want a passport that my many passports yes see that in this case no and now ofifie na nkwaba no nkoko no oba that was what they wanted say they be at least obenya the freedom kakra no enye freedom per se but at least no near maybe on ma obetumi are you okay and the judge was like no so what say because anyway this is common sense you never be on my nyamra unto family to for I found so what say nipa no obua na stain no or the time a year and or the not to a fias. Na so ba beje offense we open young granting Bαil. And na sadia I just see you body man down near say and pass a time or the year. For me, first time I'm seeing me read I got that lawyers and appeal. I was like, appeal with the amount I say too harsh. They went personally on the judge. Oh, Buasam. They went hard on the judge, no Buasam. Because what is there for AGradaa to defend at that time? Judge now been defending. Because prosecutor no, at the court of law, the people, because they are AGradaa, the people are first almost acquire one lawyers war, the lawyers war, and the lawyers abomodia can say or your first time offender. The prosecutor realized that some cases now among for any ya bopani and the Indian or focus on it ASξM. Or focus on it on who will lose the case. Into prosecutor no nyina so kese pan was the advertising. And advertising also before courtroom or lawyers say case or a first time offender. Then the prosecutor my judge said no, on your first time offender. On the first time offender. Because prosecutor no focus on among for a buyer and Jimmy Sikanya in Kawan Shia in ka case no Obelusu case in ka prosecutor Belusu case. So focus on advertising. Focus on advertising. And advertising now focus on it. So you can say a fraud in the sense that fine, you need to show, pull out a video whereby that 3 billion will come. You were giving to people 3 billion per paper. There wasn't anything like a video. 3 billion. Fine, ucheska, obiska. But what in 3 billion in the year? 3 billion no now check. So you need to provide that fact. Evidence of video. Okay, my 1 billion kwawe, 2 billion kwawe, 3 billion kwawe. Yes. And I said 500,000, 200,000. Wait, you come on 3 billion no check. If you ever saw more no more people are almost because that's kind of son, young kind of son. Babiwa, there's no video whereby a nipa omujino come na chest and wake 50,000 any wake 50,000 wake into my chamo my son. There's nothing like that. In as much as the advertising there wasn't anything like that. So what it means is that and also the fraud. They know the fraud in and also on the and sana first advertising and also at the whole. It's the people are no more no because the people are no more and I'm call it scam and on social media videos and social media some audios and vindicative one of planning you know. And my neighbor is okay, so more do no setup. That is it. It's you know, suppose good and I be so OJ no so I see at the point. Now one now what video ni man no more yes no ye throw one no more omunko. No munko. Now they were nowhere to be found. Omo no be ometu gem and dia dancing. Now they were nowhere to be found. Not prosecutor on until omo nka biem. In my prosecutor on the advertising who say no, this is my focus. And a prosecutor also where say nipa why you be paying obenya that fact obenya that document and say that document say why you be paying I'm here that court. And I saw them name a so to yes a so to Nenya saw them as a worker. Opposite say oh ye be o so to me ya warning state no one no asaye biem and what tumra the prosecutor no more here and that's meaning say bill no dey e be den So because when I will say judge, you know, anyway, because what it means is that why accusing the judge or man 15 years, you know? In the next year, almost started trial now. Almost started trial now. I'm just saying, you money now. Even the appeal, because appeal the day. And what thing? Appeal no how I got a lawyer's file appeal. Me go mean a lawyer no. When I was reading, I was too harsh. Appeal no and same woman and what thing. Next what person say judge na yusum ra na de ye adwuma no. Judge na yusum ra na de ye adwuma. Nemu out of hatred. The personal way be no gina so no de ye. When yusum ra na de ye. And that is serious. Because why accuse a judge? And so that is serious. And another side here, say a boss say yeah they go high court. Now ye biemu dia. See a chauffeur outside when you are making sure say if indeed judge you know edit na come na ye and now say am po jam na so na ye. Tinye case ketwa. It's no more money bail a enyi. O bail they have the p. Because a judge and woman 15 years. It's when you can inquire from press on bill. Because I never on Sanka. On Sanka, just say top hierarchies be them. And on Sanka. And no crown, a bad day, got top hierarchy. No, Obian says, so open my twanza, and also by awesome. Into yeah, Obian is okay, fine. Or the most started trial, no high court. Now, if you don't call, okay, fine. Your team feels, and I say, okay, uncle, something like that, you're fine, something like that. Because the Manasseh, next means that the judge over there, so Omoya say, okay, I'm out bill court. Next the judge no one open or chance on the Juma. Yes, I'm passer judge and Edna come or the Obofour no. Ujam Rasu. There was a year, a doctor, ya filing against a done in him. But this is so the judge. No. I'm not make appeal no almost file here. Make AGradaa lawyers and appeal now almost file here. Yes. I say this is no the judge. No, I don't think so. No, no baby. I don't think so. No. I don't think so. No. Yeah, I'm talking about judge. You know, AGradaa lawyers and appeal no more here. Some of me had no. Money yes, judge. You know, the personal feeling and the AGradaa judgment. And I say, what time? I mean, when you sumra, what time? No, the yes, and that is serious. That is serious. Me a lawyer, you know, when I was reading it, me dream one I'm say, Daddy. Now go file appeal. No accuse judge, no trade them. About what is sentence, no. At the command and young judge. Say judge, you know, at the time a year, and I said, when jam now soon for that matter, you have more clients in the bill. You have money bill or guarantee bill the man there. There's a means we're shaming the young judge, you know. And so also finding out, making sure that I'm part. Again, I would so okay, one for docket in Yamra. Judge, and you soon come on here or time, and I said, the aim. It's difficult. So many bill. Because I will not be needing some more for young guarantee my mini bill. Because appeal no trial, no. Nobody knows. Court the bed judge. Uba want to file you. I'm the bed judge. Knows okay, fine. You international that's it. You started trial, that's it. And for that matter, you start here near who you be. But no editing. No one that said one me fee. No queen, no one that's one me fee. Obofour I need. I'm running for. Anya biano. Catch lawyers because that is how judges works. So okay, fine. This if that is it, then Munko. Yeah, but me see me really at the first time. I was surprised of how our lawyers a year appeal. No. I was surprised. They are Ella Grace. No, they are not really out of options anyway. There are so many options there, but at least they need to have a rethink about it. They need to have a rethink and know how to go about it. Koko file appeal there. anyway. This is serious. It's and then I got that Manu. Yeah, money bill. Na me hu say nipa pi enso abomode yen akopie mu e wo court wo yes zania ma no eno so no one thing people should understand any courtroom and I say court premises eya na nipa koguo eyeye no eno edrum bi it has an influence okay so yes. That is why obi orma ye chena and I say ye no court in ade otuma amanfo ko penipa ebegu or yes. Sometimes it has an influence our judge and so and I say case no outcome yes it really has an influence. So when people realize that nipa guo bebe ni ade no nipa guo bebe no me nka say obi na conform be gu ana so be no but at least I can say more na no at least they were under a contract yes more na no yeah they were under a contract make mama cancer they were under a contract and for that matter they need to go there and near on the all because at least it will have maybe an influence on the mission because how lawyers not filing it will have an influence whereby it will be like okay there are some people who are okay almost then what it means is that they in the course so particularly people are really chanting and that kind of stuff wow so yeah it has an influence. Oh my God, this is serious. But I'm a fact. It's at least minimum say lawyers they were being advised by the judge so to go and then so feel say how me file appeal again na diaba ya na eboa intina make say the people who went there me to be interested out in Kase obi na ekofo mobile but I can say the people who went there most of them were under contract say mumi enko do amunye de yes they were under a contract no doubt and you cannot be God whoever it is that did that yes whoever it is that did that you cannot be God that person because and also lawyers no bet me advice so say yes sir. Yes, the lawyers make lawyer be him say they make the almost advise clients and I say be abusuafo say moya mumra in your numbers mumegu bebre mum penny panka yes because what yes you know so we say the people go bebre ni ade not necessarily that if you are Ghana forward sometimes it's like that possible though I'm not saying that is it but it's possible. It's possible. No be a case Goodman say Asiamah KOFI will go. There being cancer, Mr. Mother. But what I'm saying is it's possible though. Yeah. It's possible. And something so far as cases like that is concerned. Teacher Pan say when you have a case between you and the state, only mention and that's when the state is against you. And I say when you are facing the law, and I say you are facing the state before the court of law. And say when people and the masses court premises yeah, it really has an influence on the judgment. Until no so no eboa. Until no baby lawyers in technique we. Until baby you do all my china knows the state and our lawyers eventually agangi abnormal penipa normal be go say there say a state ni new ohun ni ade ya nti eboa npa chwa ya say yeah eboa but as to say enke benya nsunso no na eno be heading because so be granting bail no na ke be heading ka judge no kwa no the judge will not do that because and na ye can once your sentence you was trying to say but bail there is difficult. It's difficult. Yeah, it's difficult. Until I make say this is a matter of an issue of between the state and AGradaa. And we no kwanye ebia wetwa bia 1 year bi and 2 years bi no aka say bia okay mama copy bill on the mention and a bill na omo copy no me say how omo file ade no eno kwa na bi e ka ho na ama omo antumi anya bill ama maame no because mo file ade ya ma judgment and when it is all file an appeal na man yes sir judge no intimidate client no judge no and my client no I expressing itself judge no pronounce the judgment based on one personal feeling and hatred out of hatred into oh yeah sana amani look like sadia na another court and grant bill debi and na sadia oh so if you say sadia let's start the trial so also sanity and yeah on your na yen pet date near start the trial no or no they mention near start the trial because it's like the same institution, you know, it's an institution, no doubt. And what file a case? What file a case against a person within the institution? It's no judge or whatsoever. No senior, to be honest, no judge or whatsoever will grant my mini bail, even based on how I'm filing appeal. Judge be no money bail because. Oh, money bill there. There's a meaning is that good side judge no good and I know that it's against maybe their ethics or something. I don't know. But this is something like an opinion. I mean, share. That's what good and that is difficult. So we granted that bill, no? And also we granted that request. What I say because when you something you not to say you be wasem no no way you pass judgment. Asiamah judge no so from more than 2 years and a judge abomodi ahwe saa nyema ni nyina from that 2 years and you pass judgment into you pass judgment within 2 weeks. Now say another court offer appeal. Now another court catch you say my money bill there. And I'll file appeal no come and yes sir. The judge did that out of hatred. There's a meaning it's something. And I don't know. Because maybe if a lawyer on the flip side. Let's not forget this. On the flip side. Maybe judge I got a lawyer also feel say they need to do that because once judgment happen. A bad day so because your money bill. Name if they need to file and answer, they need to make a case against the judge. Oh, but money and answer against the judgment. Then say judge, you know, I'm money, I'm no and you soon and a judge, you know, it's and the phone with you. So judge now because you sue when you soon run in a year, and for that matter, then the Sadia we can pardon or don't make your money bill near started trial, another trial. Maybe on my dream because judgment so in 2 2 cassette we call pre-bail. Maybe be a lawyer since who want to say once the judgment is there. Say if indeed they need to go, and this say they need to file and I say they need to make a case against the judgment. And so maybe yes sir.
Ebusin Goodman eno wasam em no need to me a sinkunya need to me asanso aba 9 ekopiem akogimu entro mu nakasa efri eye ono nakasa ho enum ebepiem why Goodman insemi ayekotiem abai ebusin wadwenkyere bi wonsem bi na se mo beka afa ye video ho na odi afa comment section ho uwia na maslo so be like uwia be share na unia bi anasa wadamfo bi anasa foforo so ensa entumi enka this particular video will be enhwe na send yes na ohwem so we first time so na wa subscribe uwia press be like ono kamo sedia story bi asanso ba or this double platform so when you be to my share na when you be to my sanso ati message den sama e trendy biem asanso abraw makraw